Guys, it's Ted with OAXRAY, and we are doing our first live streaming event here. I hope everything is live. Really can't tell, so you might see me fumbling around here, messing around with things, but let's see if everything is working. Not 100% sure, so if you are in the audience, if you could leave a message below. Okay, I see. That's pretty cool. So, first, didn't really know. Boom. Got some toys in the back there. Let me move. It's all good. Okay, so looks like we are live on Facebook. And I know in the title it says two things stopping you from starting your Amazon business, but I think I'm going to change that to three right here. And I have no idea how to see my comments. So let's see, we have 52 starting. Okay, public. We're good there. Create thumbnails. Sorry, I am doing this on the fly. I said I was going to uh, get this started tonight no matter what happens. So I want to get this started even though I am kind of new to this. So bear with me if you see anything. So if I see there's a few people watching, if you could type something in the chat, I just kind of want to make sure that I'm on the right screen. Oh, here from Orlando. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So everybody can hear me. I am excited to see you guys today. And do we have any questions as we get started? Today, I kind of want to go over the three things that are holding people back from growing their Amazon business. And I'm just kind of going to go over those three things. And I've been in a lot of groups for a long time, since 2008, been well, probably 2009, been in the groups, and I've seen what a lot of people are finding in their online business and what's kind of holding them back. And the first thing for a lot of new sellers, I'm going to say, is going to be fear. And I had a little bit of fear doing this video because I have not done live before. Everything is edited. If I mess up, we just cut that out. But now that it's live, it's a little different. And a lot of people have that same fear with their Amazon business. I do meetups constantly. I do meetups once a week. Plus, just this last week, we went on a cruise. And what you find is a lot of people, they see Amazon, they see that there's potential there, and then they just deep dive into all the information, and they just never actually get started on the business aspect of Amazon. So if you're one of those people and you just have been trying to figure out how to get yourself started, um, then go out there and hopefully today or tomorrow, it's a little late today, 7:30 p.m., get a schedule for tomorrow going and get yourself out there, get yourself buying products for your business. Most people out there have enough information. Um, and what people need to do is start actually acting and stop doing all of the studying and all those things. Hey, Russell, Allen, I see you. I will be there tomorrow at the meetup. So, do you have a question for me, Russell, while we're talking here? Anita tried Amazon FBA last year, currently doing eBay. All we have to do is one of them. It doesn't matter which one you do. Some people find eBay a little bit easier to use. Some people like to do Amazon FBA. Anita, how is that shipping working out for you for eBay? That was the worst thing about eBay that I didn't like. Not only creating the listings took a little bit longer for me, but it was the shipping out items every day. Are you sending items to FBA for multi-channel fulfillment for your Amazon eBay business, or are you shipping those items out every single day for your eBay business? And this is going out to Anita. She just said she tried Amazon FBA last year, and she's currently doing eBay. I'm just kind of curious how her business is structured now if she's shipping things out every single day. So again, more people are joining the chat, so that's always good. And I just want to say that fear is what is holding most people back, and you need to get started on whatever it is today because the fear doesn't go away. I've been selling online since 2008, and I still look at some deals and I'm like, oh man, what do I do? How am I going to get this business deal done? You still get the butterflies in your stomach no matter how much time has gone by. I've done over 250 videos and still I'm here and I'm sitting here nervous. Doesn't matter how many deals you do, you're always going to be nervous. So you might as well act today. And Russell's in one of our meetups. Sorry if I called you out, Russell, but he's in one of our meetups and he is building a Shopify store. So I'm really excited for Russell. Hopefully he's done his research like he said, and he will be one of the big Shopify stores, I'm sure, here in the next few minutes. And Anita says she charges shipping for eBay and sends the items out as they sell. And she lives 5 minutes from post office. That's always good, especially once you make friends with the post office people. Things get a little easier for you, and it's just kind of a smoother process once you get in good with the postal service. Now, let me go over the second thing that I see a lot of people have when they're starting. They are missing capital. So this is going to stop a lot of people from growing this year. And you have to kind of think about how capital affects your business, and you're going to have to think of some unique ways to get capital for your business. So I have a guy in a local meetup. I'm not going to call anybody out today. He is starting out on Amazon, doing an awesome job, awesome hustler, doing a lot of business. And sometimes he doesn't have all the capital to get things started. So sometimes he'll come to me and say, hey, I found this deal. And I'm not going to go in too much detail about it, but hey, I found this deal. There's pallets of stuff over here. But, I just can't buy it all. So he approached me about, doing some deals. And I'm like, that's a good idea. I don't have time often because I'm doing these live events. I'm doing a lot of the stuff for OAXRAY. So I don't have time to find a lot of these deals. So if you don't have capital, maybe there is someone locally, or maybe there's someone who you know online who will kind of split some deals with you. Do you have a private label where you're just like, I found this really hot item, really awesome, really hot item. It's going to sell. It's going to make $1 million, whatever it is. But I don't have the money to buy my first $5,000 shipment from China. So maybe for you, the best thing to do is to find someone and say, hey, I'll wholesale this to you. I already know the supplier. I already know I can get it done in the correct colors. I know the word optimization for Amazon. I already have all this information. And you just come with them with a little folder. Here's what I would do. I have no money, but I have time. And that is going to be the largest assets for a lot of us. I mean, we just don't have the assets, the money to get started. So you come with a report to someone who has some capital and you say, hey, I found this awesome private label item. It's selling for $10 on Amazon. I can get it from a supplier in China for $2. The lead time is 2 weeks. I'm finding, I'm finding that they sell 1,000 units per month, and I want to wholesale to you. I know you already have an Amazon account. It's already set up. These are all my numbers. This is how everything is set up. And this is how much I project to make in the first 6 months. And maybe you mark your items up by $2 or $3. You're not going to make all of the profit from those sales, but you wholesale it to somebody and maybe you do a 6-month contract with them. Maybe you allow someone else to sell your item, build up the listing on Amazon and do all of those things and allow someone else to sell your items for the first 6 months while you build up capital and you're able to build up other areas in your business. Or if you don't have a lot of capital, I mean, you can thrift pretty cheap. I mean, there's books in my area selling for $10. I mean, sorry, 10 cents that I can find. Or we can go over to freecycle.com and find some items from Freecycle or one of the, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to remove that Freecycle comment. Freecycle, I just forgot. They actually have a policy. If you're using Freecycle, do not sell anything from Freecycle. But you can go on the Craigslist free side and try to find some books or some other items that are good for selling. Is anybody here, let me think of a question for you guys. Anybody here, what type of businesses do you have on Amazon or on eBay? How are you sourcing your inventory? Are you guys doing RA? Are you guys doing online arbitrage? Are you guys thrifting? Do you guys just have private label products up the wazoo? How are you guys sourcing? Because I really guys haven't been able to talk to you guys live, so I'm not sure what the average person in the group is doing. So once this question, hey Sam, Sam's my dog, she's over there. So I just want to know what everybody's doing. I know what Russell's doing. He's in my local meetup group. And if anybody is in the Virginia Beach area, I have a local meetup group. We do Wednesdays at noon, generally like an hour and a half meeting, and I'll talk about anything Amazon, e-commerce. We actually have someone who does some affiliate marketing who comes to the group, and it's just one of those cool things to do. And let me go over the thing number 3 that people often don't have to grow their Amazon business in 2017, and that's going to be time. I don't have a lot of time to get a lot of deals done. So what I often do is I'll often partner with people. If there's someone in my area and they're able to find a large deal and I can provide some funds for it and I can possibly make something happen, then I'm going to go that route if possible. Also, there's some, I've automated some things in my business. A lot of things will take some scale to actually automate. Come on, dogs. They're making a lot of noise back here. So looks like South Florida Seller is doing RA and thrift stores. That is how I got started. I love the thrift stores, man. I mean, you can't beat the margin whenever you walk into a store and you find that 10-cent book and now it's selling for $100, $200. South Florida Seller, what's the biggest flip you've ever done on at your thrift store? Since I just love the thrift store stuff. And Anita's still working. So since Anita's here and she keeps commenting, thank you. She's bootstrapping. I remember those days, Anita. Whenever I started, I had some debt. Don't remember exactly how much, but I had a good amount of debt and I was working. And I was trying to figure out how to go from working every day to being able to do this Amazon thing. And it actually took me 18 months to actually build up enough money, pay off my debts, and be able to actually just leave and quit and just, I left on good terms and all of that good stuff. And just be able to tie my hands. That was actually 2010, July 4th weekend. And it was just awesome to be able to finally say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to work for myself. And bootstrapping is the way to go. I mean, some people are going to say, go take out the Amazon loan. I think that part of the process of building up that capital and doing it, grinding every day is just part of what you have to do. I don't think that the easy way out of just taking out a huge loan is the way to go. Some people are going to disagree with me, but that's just how I like to do it. Now, Russell says, slowly but surely working on a new Shopify idea. Picked up some books the other day. So Russell's been coming to the group. Pretty good guy. He is thrifting, doing some books, and doing the Shopify store at the same time. He has been out there hustling, and that is just what you have to do. So learn and work at the same time. So as you're learning about the Shopify, build your store so that you can actually make some money as you're learning. And I love thrift stores and Orlando bins. Not sure what Orlando bins are, but thrift stores are awesome. Does anybody have a Value Village in their area? Value Village in the DC area is just insane. I mean, they just have so many books and just all of these items you can flip, make so much money. Oh, Goodwill bins, those are cool. Oh yeah, definitely. Goodwill. Goodwill is one of my best sources. And I'm just jumping around in this video. I have to make a kind of list of what I'm going to talk about because I'm just jumping around too much. But any suggestions if I have some money, but absolutely no time? So whenever I think about this question, the answer is kind of hard. And South Florida seller, you have to get some experience, I would say, before you can start cutting time out of your Amazon business. Because at the beginning, it's just so much learning that you have to do. So my thought is that I recommend that everyone, and this is what I had to do. I had to work every night and every weekend as much as possible for that first year or so because you have to kind of micromanage what you're doing. So you have to learn every single little process, no matter how big or how small it is, before you can start outsourcing some of those things and before you can start making deals, really. Because generally, if someone comes to me and they're like, "Oh, I got this product," or whatever the deal is that they can find, and sometimes they'll bring it to me. I have to be able to evaluate that and decide if it's a good deal or not. So I think that at the beginning, you really have to put the time in, put the work out, or put the work in, and just understand every single little detail about the business before you can really get no time. So South Florida seller, I am sorry. I do not think there's any way, especially when you're just starting. I don't know how long you've been selling, so maybe you can tell me how long you've been selling, or what you can do there. But if you think that if you believe that you have enough experience to make some decisions and things like that, then you can set basic book thresholds and send out people who will actually go to different stores and buy items for you. I've done that. I actually did that for about 2 to 3 years. This was back in like 2012, maybe to 2015. I actually hired people and they would use their own car. They would go out to various bookstores. But the thing was, I had to do the legwork first. I verified which bookstores were the best bookstores. I did it every single day for like 2 years. And once I established like the pattern, like which store, which day to go there, that's when I was able to hire someone. And then they would go out and do books for me every day. And then I assigned them a special SKU. So every time a book from them sold, I knew it was their book and I could track, okay, I paid Bill $10 an hour, $10 an hour, $400 last week. And I pull my SKUs, and then from pulling the SKUs, I could say, okay, Bill's SKU, there's been $800 in sales, so I made $400, and I spent $400 in in cost of employee costs from him. So I made $400. So that is how I can kind of go and track. But for you, I would map out literally 100% of the stores within a 50-mile radius of you if you think you have this under control, because you want to make sure you need to understand every aspect. Then once you map out every single place that you want to go, or every single place that you want to send a worker, then you can get somebody, a contractor. Generally you can, as long as you let them set their own hours. There's rules around that, so make sure you do that. Maybe send them out, send them with the PDA or whatever you need to send them with. Hey guys, dogs are rolling around. So send them out there with the equipment they need, or if they can just use a cell phone, that's the easiest thing. Download FBA Scan, and then you can start running the numbers and actually seeing how the sales are going, for that person. So you can do that. Do it once a week. If you can find someone to go out once a week for you, and then you can monitor, okay, I sent out Bill, went out there, I made $400 this month. I'm going to increase Bill's hours. so that now we just have, more hours. And then as you start covering more stores, then you can start cutting out stores, adding more stores. And at some point, you're going to have so much stuff to list that you're going to have to start working more, or you're going to have to find someone to list for you. I've only ever had one person make listings for me on Amazon, and that was like a trusted friend of mine. So that can take some time. The finding the books is fairly easy. I mean, if you set good standards and you just say, okay, whatever's over 1,000 in rank, or sorry, 1 million in rank with a $3 profit, buy it. And that's pretty simple, but yours might be more complicated, like no X library books or things like that. But you can set up things like that. And Anita wants to know, do you use your phone or a scanner to check potential profits? So let me see. So I don't have my scanner with me. I thought I did over here somewhere. But I use like a USB scanner, handheld scanner. There is plenty of them online, and they're like $17. And I have an Android phone, so I'm going to show you how I do it. And you can go more expensive or cheaper if you'd like, but this is just what I use. And if you hear something in the background, that will be my, I live in Virginia Beach, and there is Oceana, like a military base right next to me. So if you're military, thank you for your service. And, even though it's a little annoying, we love jet noise here. And I'm going to pull up the screen of what I generally use, and hopefully I can do this right. I think I will get it right. So hopefully I don't have any personal information. Don't think so. So from here, I just go to YouTube. I don't buy any of the expensive ones. You don't need an expensive one. This is the one I generally buy right here, $17.99 USB scanner. The reason I buy this is because I can use it at my home computer when I'm listing, but I can also use it when I'm in the field. And here we go. Here we have the OTG cable. I don't know what OTG stands for anymore. On the go. Oh yeah, on the go cable. And this is for an Android device, any device after the Galaxy S3, which is like 4 years ago. So any modern Android device will work. You plug this little guy right here into your USB scanner, and you have a scanner. It's just that easy. So should be back to me. Oh yeah, that's us. We're back. Okay, so I use let's see, Anita. I use the iPhone. You can actually get, so I use a wired scanner. I think you're still talking to me, but yes. I use a wired scanner, and that is just the USB scanner. Really because I just don't like the syncing aspect of what type of phone is that? The Bluetooth. So I always had these problems with a Bluetooth scanner. I keep it in my hand. Yeah, it's small. It's great. You can conceal it, but the thing would never connect for me. So I just like having the manual connect Bluetooth, USB scanner. You might be better off with I think it's KDC Supply. Let me see. So I'm going to bring this screen up for you, but there's none in stock right now, but whenever they are in stock, KDC Supply, they will have these little Bluetooth scanners right here. Here we go. And they're generally $50. You can also find these on eBay, but here they're $50, but they sell out so quickly that, these might be in stock for one day and then they're gone again. So I would recommend, if you want to spend the $50 and you have Apple phone, then just go with this one right here. Pretty easy. Russell, I believe, has one of these, so maybe he can comment and actually say if his is working okay for him. Okay, yeah. KDC 200 scanner works great, and that is what we found. So yeah, I like the FBA, and FBA Scan is my favorite app for anything. FBA Scan is for any media item, just because it's just so quick. So yeah, wireless is cheaper, or wired is cheaper, and wireless is more expensive in general. Plus, I had a lot of syncing issues. You can also go with a wireless USB scanner, but it's still going to be pretty big. I just like the big scanner. I'm just used to that, so that's just kind of what it is. The best place that I found an assistant. Okay, so whenever I'm looking for like a contractor to help me out, I like Craigslist. So okay, so Russell is actually saying what I said. Yeah, it disconnects frequently, and he wouldn't recommend it. This is the same thing that I had, but I had it with multiple different Bluetooth scanners. It's like you're in the store and you're scanning, everything's going great, and then you're halfway through, then it, just turns off or, just disconnects. And I don't really know if it's the Opticon. I don't know if it's my phone, but I've had different phones and I still get the same thing. So I just said, I don't care. I'm just going to use the OTG cable. Um, so let's see where I was. I think I missed something here. Okay, so the best place to find an assistant, if you're looking for like a virtual assistant to do some things for you, then I like Upwork. But if you are actually looking for someone live, I like Craigslist. I like to hire contractors on Craigslist because you can find somebody pretty quickly. And if it's depending on the complexity of the work, it should be fairly easy. So generally, I will go to the store with somebody, explain everything, give them a little written, just write down everything you need them to remember. Scanning books is pretty easy. Now, if you're having someone doing things more complicated, then like if they're inputting books into the system, they're inputting books into your account, that is very kind of touchy. But I think in an hour or probably 15 minutes, I've done this dozens of times because I've taught so many people how to scan books where I just bring my scanner, say, what type of phone do you have? They say Android. I bring an extra USB scanner. I bring in a laminated piece of paper, and I just tell them, hey, these are the criteria I go by, and I show them a little. You can actually print out a screenshot. Hey, Juts. You got. I don't know if you guys can hear me, so I'm just gonna be quiet for a second while the Jets go by. Okay, here we go. So you just print out a screenshot of the phone and show them on the laminated what the actual phone looks like. So if they're ever gone, I mean, if you're ever not there and they have a question, they can just refer to the little sheet that you have here. So hopefully that answered that for you, South Florida seller. I don't really know your market, but in my market, I actually, I just love Craigslist. It's kind of a good place, to go. And Sundance is saying that the KDC is better, or probably he hasn't tried them both, but he's saying it does not connect on him like the Opticon does. Now, I want to know, has anybody in the room right now, we have 17 people on here, awesome. Has anybody on here not started selling yet? Or does anybody have like a super basic question that they're just like, I want this answered today because I'm just trying to add value. I'm trying to make sure that if you have a question and there's something stopping you from, if there's something stopping you from starting today or something slowing you down, I want you to ask me the question. So if I need help listing only and not sourcing, would you recommend the VA for Upwork or a live person? Okay, so South Florida seller, it depends on what you were doing. So let me explain this to you in like an easy way. So if you are buying retail arbitrage and you're using an application like, I believe Scan Power will do this, what they will do is they will allow you to actually scan in like a buy list. So if you scanned in your buy list and you have a repricer, then you can actually make your buy list, and I believe you can upload it to Scan Power and it's going to kind of create a shipment for you, or you can scan in a buy list, send it to a virtual assistant, and you can have them create a shipment for you. That is when I would recommend someone just a VA from Upwork. If you're doing like RA and someone is able to, on the back end, take those items and build shipments for you. So let's pretend that you had a Google Doc and you had your scanner in your hand. You could actually scan down all of the UPCs that you bought, have one column for UPC, one column for buy cost, and one column for quantity. So let's say I walk in the store, I buy 5 of these Equate, I would scan it, I'd put in a buy cost of $2, and then I'd put in 20 of these that I bought. and then I would scan one of these, put in a buy cost of $1, and then the quantity. And then at the, let's say I'm on my last store, I could send the entire Google Doc to my virtual assistant, and they could build the shipment based on all of the things that I scanned, based on the quantities I put in, and based on the buy cost. So whenever I get home, the shipment's already built, and then all I have to do is take it out of my car, or if my boxes are ready, I can take it out of my car, have the labels printed out, and just put it directly in the box. Whenever I am, if you're doing a lot of sourcing and you have a lot of quantity of items, the virtual assistant can really help. Or if you're actually doing books, I would recommend a live person though. Hey, buddy. So, okay, so planning on ordering on Inventory Labs. Now, Inventory Labs has really, really good tracking of items, and you're actually able to find a lot of good information from Inventory Labs. I really don't know if they track, like, do they have some type of buy list feature, or do they have something like that where you can actually say, okay, I bought 10 of these, add this to a shipment. I don't know if they have that functionality, but I know that their metrics and the information that they give is just off the chains. And you can limit access in FBA Scan when you have other scanners, so they don't see what the books sell for. Huh. They only see the trigger alerts. I had no idea FBA Scan could do that. So that is awesome. So it seems that Sundance is saying you can limit access so that they only see the buy signal and they don't see the prices. Yeah, I had no idea FBA Scan could do that. And generally, well, some of my things you would need to know the buy cost. So I don't know if that always works because, like, let's say someone buys a book and it dings, but it's selling for $10 and I'm going to make 5 on it. I'm just making this up. And it's selling for 3. Maybe I don't want to buy that book. Maybe I tell them I need to at least double my money. So what I have found is that people are generally not going to start up Amazon businesses. Most people want to make their money. They want to make it today. They don't want to run a business. So from what I've found, people are not going to simply be very interested in starting their own business. It's never happened to me. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I mean, you're going to meet people. I've shown so many people how to start Amazon business, and I will 100% walk through them, and Russell can attest to this. There's been so many people in the group who were, they seemed interested. They seemed like they wanted to start. It was really, such a good thing at the meetup, and, you never see them again. And to be able to work with there's a few people at the meetup. Everybody has their own specialty, but I mean, you can get hand holding. You come to the meetup and we'll walk you through just about everything. And if we don't know something, we'll send you in that direction. But, so many people say they want to start and they just don't. So I don't think there's going to be a problem if someone sees what you're selling the books for. But you're right. I guess someone could see a $200 book and say, maybe they skim the $100 books off the top. I understand your concern, and really I didn't think about it. But I want to say that whenever I was doing it, the numbers were fairly consistent. So if all of a sudden I was getting 1 out of 100 were $100 books, and now I find that there are no $100 books, I want to say that with the metrics that I had, I would be able to tell. But you're right. I guess something like that could happen. Someone could skim the highest selling textbooks off the top, and yeah, that's possible. So let's see. What direction should I look in order to start wholesale? Okay, so wholesale is good to start locally. And the reason I say start locally is because whenever you just send in an email and you say, hey, I want to be a wholesaler with your company, it's so much more difficult, especially since you're selling on Amazon. A lot of people are kind of jaded towards Amazon. Whenever you can walk into a local business that has gadgets for sale or whatever it is, and you can actually talk to the person and, show them that you're a real person, you're much more likely to get that exclusive with them. And that's where I would start with wholesale. I would start to see do you make anything in your local area that's not perishable. So in my area, I'll give you an example. Um, since I'm in a beach, there's a lot of beach kind of themed items. And down the street from me, I noticed that there was a place and they sell these little beach cart things. Like they have huge wheels on them. And I mean, it rolls over the sand really, really well. Um, and you know, it's just customizable, has all these things on it. And I just found it locally. And you know, those things go for a couple $100 each. And that's just you know what they go for in my area. And I've also found that in my area we have a swimways, we have a huge QVC uh, facility here. So QVC gets rid of a lot of stuff, and there's this just huge QVC place here. Generally, I will as I'm driving around, I try to look for kind of unique places. Like in my area, there's a wine shop, and there's just these unique items that this wine shop carries. You can't find them anywhere else. They have their own little jellies and their own little like cheeses and these little just ton of different items there. And I'm like, oh, they're just awesome. Kind of those wholesale items that no one else from out of the area would ever find. It would just be people who are actually in the area looking for the items would find these like small wholesalers. And the thing is, they don't always know how to open up an Amazon store. Whenever you're approaching the big brands, they've probably had so many people contact them that whenever they see, okay, it's another Amazon seller. But whenever you go into that small wine shop and you're like, huh, I see those you know, corks over there that open the wine bottle this special way, and it has this special handle on it. And you know, I've never seen that before. And you know, they might be making that themselves. You might be able to get an exclusive with them, and that's the direction I would go. Any suggestions on how to find out about meetups in my area? That's cool. I go to meetup.com, and I will. That's pretty easy. I mean, HTT. Just put in your zip code and type in Amazon or eBay, and should be pretty easy to find something. But not every area has one. But if you do not have one, then I would recommend actually South Florida Seller. If you find one in your area while I'm chatting right here, then just post, hey, I found one in my area. But if you don't find one in your area, start one. It's pretty easy. I have a meetup once a week, and 6 to 7 people come. That's all that I mean, we can handle at the moment. We actually have to find another venue because we can only hold 6 or 7 people. So start one in your area, and don't be afraid to just talk to people about Amazon. What you're going to find is most people are just looking for information, or some people just want to chat with somebody who's doing something similar. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's fairly lonely being an entrepreneur selling stuff online, because it's not like a bookstore where people come into your bookstore every single day and they chat with you and they do all these things, and you have like real face-to-face interactions. Whenever I'm selling online, I have no idea who you know, is buying things from me. I rarely have a repeat customer because Amazon doesn't really, you know, your store's not branded like it is on eBay, where you know you have the same person coming back over and over. So I like the meetups, and you just get so many ideas. Russell, since he's here, I'm gonna keep saying his name. He's just given me so many ideas, and people from the meetup are just so cool, and they just give me so many ideas on how to, you know, grow my business, whether it's OAXRAY or whether it's the Amazon, you know, stuff. And then sometimes we can go into like a joint venture together on something, or you know, just be able to help each other out. Okay, so are there any other questions in the stream right now? I'll give you guys another minute or two. I'm getting a little tired here. My dogs are making a lot of noise. So I'm going to stay on for about 5 more minutes, but I want to answer anything anyone has. And anybody who came, thank you for coming out. It's just been an awesome time. I will get my stuff together a little better next time, and have kind of more of a uh, what do you call it? I'm going to kind of have more of a laid out agenda of what I'm going to do because I was just kind of talking this time. Let's see. Thank you so much about that. I'm in the car, so I can't check, but I will later. Okay, cool. So South Florida Seller is going to come back with a meetup group in South Florida. And I will make sure that I'm talking while I type things in next time. But I see a bunch of... Okay, here we go. Since I am here... Okay, so South Florida FBA. This is the meetup group, and I am talking to South Florida Seller there. Thank you for... Thank you for asking the question. Oh man, you have Robert Bagley in your group. That's South Florida Sellers. That's Amazon Sellers, and I think that's in Miami. So Robert Bagley, I've seen his name for freaking years. We've been friends on Facebook for a long time. And let's see. Man, we have 322 people. So I only have 100 people in my group. This group looks like it's active and it's in South Florida. There are 22 meetups going on. Oh man, you have Amazon self-publishing, selling on Amazon. Your area is just awesome. South Florida is pretty active, it looks like, in this. And oh man, okay, so South Florida Seller, it looks like you have a pretty active group and it just looks awesome. So make sure you go to that. They're free, I believe. This one is going to be free meetups. Yep, free to join, no upsell. Great. And Anita's checking meetup right now, so that's good. And should I wholesale source in one niche or look wide instead? I would say go if you have something that you like, then start there. So for instance, let me say I'm talking about something I like. I like kite surfing. So let's say there's a few wholesalers for kites, and if you can get into a niche that you like, then go for it, and that would be something that you can get into. I like kite surfing. There is a guy who kind of wholesales in my local area, a brand that I really like. And actually, now that you brought that up, I think I should contact him because he's a wholesale dude. Okay, so anyways, I like kite surfing. So whenever I started, I looked into that. The margins were not there. A lot of the stuff was coming from the UK. So I did not find it valuable. So from that point, I would just say, if you can't find anything in your niche, then just start going broad. It really doesn't matter what you sell. For me, I'm a widget seller. I don't care. I will sell books. I'll sell, I'll sell anything. I really don't care what it is generally. But if it's fun, then I'll do it. But, you can't always have fun, especially in business. Sometimes you just have to sell whatever it was. One of my best-selling items, well, I only had one of them, but I found it at a thrift store. And it was like this little plumbing part. I probably can't even, this is like years ago. But I can't even pull up. It's just this little stupid plumbing part. And I've looked for it for years. Ever since I sold that one for like $300. And I mean, it was pennies that I paid for it. It was nothing because it looked like junk. And I bring up this little plumbing part and it's just worth a ton. So I would say try to find your niche if there's something that you like. But then after that, I mean, it doesn't matter what you sell. The biggest sellers that I know sell just about anything that's profitable. That's the first thing that they look at. And we have Mario. You're in Miami too, so that's great. So Miami has a very strong FBA population, it looks like. And the guy has his phone number right here. So, I mean, Carlos, he's in, I'm not going to read the phone number, but Carlos, he is in the FBA Entrepreneur Law. I'll just screen share. I'm not going to show his number, but, well, actually, it's on there, so whatever. Welcome to South Florida FBA Amazon Sellers. Here is the information, how to sell. Oh, man. So I need to step my game up because This guy names every one of his meetups, and it looks like they're pretty specific. So one of them is how to extreme coupon to find free products. So if you go to this meetup and you find a lot of awesome information, contact me. Just let me know, because maybe I need to meet with Carlos and we need to get together, because I need to talk about how he kind of structures these meetings. He's pretty cool. Right now in my meetup, we just kind of talk about stuff, but he has kind of themes going for every week, and they look pretty good. So if I'm in Miami, I'm going to this meetup. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking up Orlando meetups right now. That is neat. Why are so many people from Florida? I just don't. I just don't know. Oh, okay. You won't make it, Russell. It's all good. Good stuff. Okay, so we talked about the meetups. I'm just going to end on that note. If you're in South Florida, check out the South Florida FBA Amazon Seller Meetup. Check that out. And then if you're in a different area, then just go to meetup.com, check out what you can on Meetup, and hopefully you can find a group of like minded people. Like I said, there's nothing like being able to be around people who know exactly what you're talking about. And thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Make some money using OAXRAY. And I have no idea how to turn this off. So, do. Huh. Exit.